She looks at you with those soft, adoring eyes, the same eyes that follow you from room to room, always hoping to be near. She's gentle. She's loyal. She's your sweet girl, your good dog. But what if I told you that behind those warm eyes hides a storm of fear she cannot explain? Not fear of thunder or fireworks, but fear caused by the one person she loves most, without you even realizing it. You see, female dogs are biologically wired to feel deeply. Their bodies aren't just soft and nurturing, they're hormonally complex. They go through cycles, shifts, surges in estrogen and progesterone that make their emotional responses stronger, their sensitivity sharper. Science has shown that during certain phases of their reproductive cycle, like estrus or diestrus, stress hormones such as cortisol spike dramatically. That means even a small change in your voice or your routine can feel like a threat to her world. And yet, she stays quiet. She doesn't bark it out. She doesn't whine it. She simply endures. Because she doesn't want to disappoint you. Because you're her safe place, her protector, her everything. In this video, we're not just exploring dog behavior, we're opening a window into the emotional life of the female dog, the fears she carries, the confusion she hides, and the ways we unintentionally hurt her without ever raising a hand. And yes, I'll show you how to fix it, how to heal that invisible pain. We'll walk through 12 fears that affect our girls the most. Some might surprise you, others might break your heart, but all of them are real. And by the end of this video, you'll not only understand her better, you'll love her even more. Let's begin with the fear that starts the moment you reach for your keys. It starts with a simple sound, your hand reaching for the keys. To you, it means you're heading out to the store, maybe for 5 minutes. But to her, your sweet girl, it feels like the world is ending. Her heart begins to race. Her body floods with cortisol, the same stress hormone triggered in life or death emergencies, because she doesn't know if you'll be gone for 5 minutes or forever. Female dogs are especially vulnerable to this kind of emotional upheaval. Their biological rhythms heighten their sensitivity to separation, especially during hormonal shifts. When estrogen drops and progesterone spikes, the feelings of abandonment become overwhelming. In those moments, your departure isn't just a routine part of the day. It's a heartbreak she feels deep in her bones. That's why you come home to shredded pillows or scratched doors. It's not disobedience, it's panic. She's not misbehaving. She's trying, in the only way she knows how, to bring you back. She waits by the door, not just because she misses you, but because, without you, the world feels unsafe, unpredictable, and frightening. And when you make a big show of leaving, kneeling down, petting her, saying goodbye with that heavy voice, you might be making it worse. She learns that your goodbye means sadness, that your departure is something to fear. The fix isn't complicated. Keep it casual. Keep it brief. Create a routine around your exits and returns so she learns to trust that you'll always come back. And most of all, recognize that her fear isn't weakness. It's a reflection of how deeply she loves you. Now imagine what happens when she's not just left behind, but left in the care of someone she doesn't even know. She watches you hand over the leash. Her ears drop. Her tail lowers. And though she tries to be brave, inside, she's terrified. Because, in her mind, this isn't just a temporary arrangement. It feels like abandonment all over again. Only this time, you're walking away while she stays behind with someone she doesn't know, in a place that doesn't smell like home. Female dogs, by nature and biology, form especially strong bonds with their primary caregivers. They don't just love you, they anchor to you. And when that anchor is suddenly cut, even for a short time, the emotional fallout can be enormous. Science shows that during their hormonal cycles, especially in the luteal phase, dogs can experience heightened anxiety, clinginess, and distress when removed from familiar emotional cues, like your scent, your voice, your touch. Even if the person watching her is kind, gentle, and patient, it doesn't matter. To her, it's a stranger who doesn't smell like trust, who doesn't move like you, who doesn't speak the language of love the way you do. Every minute feels like danger. Every sound becomes a threat. She's not eating, not resting, just waiting. Waiting for your voice, your return. The signal that she's safe again. And if she paces, whines, or hides, it's not because she's badly behaved. It's because she's scared. It's because the one person who makes her feel safe has vanished. Before leaving her with someone new, take time to build familiarity. Let her see you interact positively with that person. Leave behind something that smells like you. An old t-shirt, a used blanket, your voice recorded on a phone. These small comforts can mean the difference between panic and peace. But even when she's with you, her fears don't just disappear, especially when you take her into a world that overwhelms every one of her senses. Now imagine being just 2 feet tall, with ears that hear 4 times more acutely than a human's, and a nose that can detect the chemical signals of stress, fear, and aggression all around you. That's what your girl experiences when you bring her into a crowded place. A park, a festival, a busy sidewalk. For you, it might be a fun outing. For her, it's a sensory minefield. Every footstep near her feels like a potential stomp. Every shout in the distance rings like a warning bell. Hands reach down from every angle, some kind, some curious. But to her, it's a blur of movement and confusion. She doesn't know who's safe, who's not, what to sniff, what to avoid. And she looks to you, again and again, searching your eyes for reassurance. For female dogs, especially those going through hormonal fluctuations, this kind of chaos is more than stressful. It's terrifying. Research shows that estrogen and progesterone swings can heighten a dog's reactivity to new stimuli. That means crowds don't just confuse her, they overwhelm her to the point of shutdown. She may pant excessively, drool, freeze in place, or pull desperately at the leash. Not because she doesn't want to behave, but because she's in survival mode. She's trying to manage a flood of sensory input while staying close to the one person she trusts, you. We often bring dogs into public spaces without preparing them. But your girl needs guidance, protection, and an exit plan. Train her gradually in low-stimulation environments. Watch for signs of stress. Be her buffer when people want to pet her. And most importantly, never force her to stay in a situation that's clearly too much. Because for her, staying in that chaos isn't an adventure. It's a storm. And sometimes, the real fear doesn't come from the world around her, but from what happens when her world suddenly shifts inside her own home. To you, it's just a small change. Skipping a morning walk, serving dinner an hour late, running an unexpected errand before coming home. But to her, it feels like the ground shifting beneath her paws. Dogs, especially females, find deep emotional security in routine. And when that routine suddenly disappears, they feel lost, uncertain, and anxious. Your girl doesn't wear a watch. She doesn't check the clock. But she knows when breakfast is due. She senses the rhythm of the house, the timing of your steps, the tone of your voice at certain hours. Her body, influenced by internal hormone cycles, becomes especially sensitive to these patterns. Research has shown that female dogs during hormonal transitions, particularly around estrus, respond more intensely to disruptions in daily structure, leading to behavioral signs of stress, such as pacing, whining, or even self-isolation. When her schedule falls apart, she doesn't just miss her meal. She questions her whole sense of safety. Where is my human? Is something wrong? Is the world still okay? These moments of doubt can cause her to become clingy or withdrawn. She may bark for no reason or refuse food, not because she's being difficult, but because her emotional compass is spinning without direction. It's her way of saying, "I don't understand what's happening, and I'm scared." You don't need to be perfect. Life happens. But the more predictable her world feels, the safer she'll be. Create rituals she can count on. Simple things like a bedtime phrase, a morning scratch behind the ears, or a consistent walking time. These anchors are more than habits. They're proof, in her eyes, that the world is still good, that she is still safe. But even when everything seems in order, there's one fear that cuts deeper than any disruption. When the tone of your voice becomes a storm all on its own. She doesn't speak your language, but she understands your tone. And when that tone rises, sharp, loud, tense, her whole body reacts. You might be yelling at the news, venting about traffic, or arguing on the phone. But to her, it all feels the same. Her ears flatten, her eyes widen, and her heart pounds. She doesn't know who or what you're upset with. She only knows that you, the one person she trusts most, sound angry, and that terrifies her. Female dogs are especially attuned to emotional shifts in the people they love. Their brains are wired to detect social cues, and their hormonal systems magnify emotional sensitivity, especially during high progesterone states like diestrus. When your voice changes, her body floods with cortisol. One study found stress hormone levels in dogs can increase by over 300% in response to human yelling, even when it's not directed at them. That look in her eyes isn't guilt. It's fear. She may cower, hide or try to fix things by bringing you a toy or performing tricks, not because she did something wrong, but because she thinks she failed you. She believes she's lost your approval. And that, to her, is the worst punishment of all. If you live with emotional ups and downs, grief, anxiety, stress, you're not alone. Many people do. But being mindful of how your outbursts affect her can change everything. If you must raise your voice, offer comfort afterward. Use soft words, reassure her. Let her know she's not the reason for your pain. Because she carries your emotions in her heart, even when they're too heavy for you to carry yourself. And yet, the weight doesn't always come from your voice. It can come from a place you thought was meant to help her. The cold, sterile walls of the vet's office. You walk through the door, and it starts immediately. Her body stiffens. Her nose twitches. Her paws hesitate. You may not smell anything unusual, but she does. A storm of fear, anxiety, and pain lingers in the air, scents left behind by every frightened animal that came before her. This isn't just a checkup for her. It's a memory chamber of fear. Female dogs often form stronger scent and sound associations than males, especially during hormonal peaks. And when she's anxious, everything is amplified. The sound of whimpering from the back room, the clink of metal tools, the rustling of paper on exam tables. To her, it's not a clinic. It's a place where she's been restrained, poked, prodded, and placed on a cold, slippery surface under harsh lights. Even routine procedures, like checking her ears or trimming her nails, can feel invasive, especially if they happen during a hormonally sensitive time. Her brain is already flooded with progesterone and cortisol, which makes every touch feel more intense, more threatening, and harder to forget. That's why some dogs start trembling the moment they see the carrier or hear the keys jingle for a special trip. And the worst part? She doesn't know it's for her own good. She only knows that her protector, her human, brought her into a place where she feels completely vulnerable. There are ways to help. Bring a favorite toy. Let her stand on a towel instead of a cold table. Ask the vet if you can stay in the room. Use pheromone sprays like dog-appeasing pheromone to help calm her beforehand. But most importantly, never ignore her fear. Don't laugh it off or dismiss it. Validate it. Comfort her. Because for her, it's not just a doctor's office, it's a battleground. And sometimes, the only thing more terrifying than being examined is what comes from the sky when the storms begin. The sky cracks open. A boom rattles the windows. Lights flash in the distance. You might glance out the window, fascinated by the power of the storm or the beauty of fireworks dancing across the sky. But to her, your gentle girl, it's not beautiful. It's terrifying. It's war. Dogs hear frequencies far beyond our range. For them, a thunderclap isn't just loud. It's a sonic explosion that shakes their world. And for female dogs, especially those with heightened hormonal sensitivity, these unexpected sounds hit even harder. Studies have shown that fear responses during storms can be significantly worse in female dogs, particularly when progesterone and cortisol are both elevated. She doesn't understand what thunder is. She can't predict when it'll stop. All she knows is that something massive, violent, and unexplainable is happening, and she has no control over it. That's why she hides under the bed, shakes uncontrollably, or digs at doors and windows trying to escape. She's not being dramatic. She's in survival mode. What makes it even harder? You're still in the room and not stopping it. From her point of view, the world is ending, and her protector isn't doing anything to make it stop. That creates confusion, even hurt. She might question whether she's truly safe if you're not reacting with the same urgency she feels. The good news? Your calmness can become her shelter. Speak softly. Close the blinds. Sit beside her without fuss. Reassure her in a quiet, steady voice. Words like, "It's okay," repeated gently, can become a calming trigger over time. There are also natural remedies, thunder shirts, or even white noise machines that can help soften the storm. Because to her, every rumble in the sky could be danger. And the one thing she wants most in that moment is you sitting close, reminding her that she's not alone. But there's another kind of storm, one that doesn't come from the sky, but rolls across the floor of her own home. The switch flips. The motor roars. And just like that, her sanctuary becomes a battlefield. To you, it's just a household chore, a quick vacuum around the living room. But to her, it's a monstrous machine invading her territory, chasing her scent, disrupting the safety she's so carefully mapped out. Female dogs are especially sensitive to disruptions in familiar environments. Their brains are constantly scanning for changes in patterns, especially when hormonal cycles are in play. When you vacuum, you're not just cleaning, you're erasing her scent trails, disturbing the energy of her safe spaces and replacing them with loud, unpredictable motion. The noise alone is unbearable. Her ears, far more sensitive than yours, pick up every vibration. The growling hum of the vacuum isn't just loud, it's aggressive. It moves unpredictably, lurching left and right, sucking up pieces of her world, bits of fur, crumbs. She's sniffed, even the lingering scent of where she slept just hours earlier. She doesn't understand why you're doing this, why you're following the monster, why you're letting it into her room, her corner, her bed. That fear isn't irrational. It's primal. It's the same instinct that once warned her ancestors about predators rustling in the grass. And when she runs to the far end of the house, trembling, or hides in the closet, she's not being skittish. She's doing what her body tells her to do, get away from danger. That fear can linger long after the noise is gone. Some dogs shake for hours. Some refuse to re-enter the room until they're sure it's safe again. You can help. Vacuum when she's out on a walk. Give her a quiet space to retreat where she can't hear or see it. Use positive reinforcement, treats, soothing words, so she begins to associate the sound with safety, not terror. Because sometimes fear doesn't wear teeth or growl. Sometimes it rolls on wheels, hums like a beast, and steals the comfort from her home, one noisy sweep at a time. But fear doesn't always come from machines. Sometimes it walks on four legs, uninvited, unpredictable, and ready to disrupt everything she holds sacred. She sees him before you do, ears perked, body stiff, eyes locked. A strange dog approaching fast. You might think, oh, he's friendly, but your girl isn't so sure. She freezes, her tail tucks, her instincts kick in, and just like that, she's no longer the calm, gentle companion you know. She's scanning, calculating, trying to survive. Female dogs often experience social interactions differently than males. Where some males may react impulsively or assert dominance, females tend to assess risk more cautiously. Their social memory is sharper, and their hormonal shifts, especially around their cycle, can make them more reactive to unfamiliar energy, movement, and scent. They're wired to protect themselves, and in the presence of an unknown dog, especially one who charges up without permission, that protective instinct can turn into fear. She doesn't know if this stranger wants to play, assert control, or fight. And when she's on a leash, her options are limited. She can't run. She can't hide. All she can do is hope you step in. If she barks, lunges, or hides behind you, she's not misbehaving. She's sending a clear message: I don't feel safe. And yet, many of us tug the leash, scold her, or push her toward interaction, thinking we're helping her socialize. But that pressure only deepens her fear, especially if she's gone through a bad experience in the past. Just one negative encounter can imprint on her memory, especially during hormonally sensitive periods, and cause her to associate all new dogs with danger. You can protect her by being her advocate. If a stranger's dog approaches too quickly, step between them. Speak up. Let your girl know you've got her back. Train her in calm, neutral environments where she can observe without being overwhelmed. Because for her, safety doesn't come from being social. It comes from knowing that when something scary gets too close, you're the one who says, "Not today." And when her world gets too crowded, there's still one place she counts on for peace. Her own space, her own scent, her familiar home. Until the day that changes too. Home is her sanctuary. The place that smells like comfort, feels like safety, and holds the quiet corners she's chosen as her own. That spot by the window where she waits for you. the blanket she's circled 1,000 times, the rug under the table where she naps after dinner. These aren't just preferences, they're anchors. And when you move the furniture, clean out her favorite nook. Or worse, move to a new house entirely. You're not just changing the space. You're shaking the foundation of her world. Territory means more to dogs than it does to us. It's not just where we live. It's a network of scent trails, routines, and safe zones. For female dogs especially, the disruption of this network can trigger a deep internal panic. Their biology craves familiarity, especially when hormonal levels are high or fluctuating. A sudden change to their environment during these times can be disorienting and emotionally painful. She might show her distress in quiet ways, refusing to sleep in her usual place, losing her appetite, pacing at night. Or it may come out in unexpected behaviors like barking, digging, or chewing. She's not trying to be destructive. She's grieving the loss of a space she trusted. Even something as simple as deep cleaning her bed or tossing an old toy can unsettled her, especially if those items carried your scent or hers, reminders that this space is hers, that it's home. If you must make changes, do it slowly. Keep one room consistent while others are rearranged. Let her watch you move things. Talk to her while you work. Reintroduce her to spaces with patience, not pressure. Because for her, territory is more than geography. It's emotional ground. And when she loses it, she needs your help to feel safe again. But sometimes, it's not the space that changes. It's where the car takes her, and what she remembers about the ride. You call her over, grab the leash, open the car door. Maybe she hesitates, maybe she trembles, or maybe she climbs in slowly, head low, tail still. What happened? She used to love car rides, didn't she? For many dogs, especially sensitive female dogs, the car becomes a source of dread. Not because of the ride itself, but because of where it leads. The vet, the groomer, the boarding kennel. Places that smell of stress and separation. Places where you've walked her in and left her behind. Her memory is sharper than you think. She knows the route to the clinic. She recognizes the sound of the turn signal at that one intersection. The scent of antiseptic that clings to your clothes afterward. One bad experience, especially during a hormonally vulnerable time, can link the car to anxiety, making even the act of getting in feel like a betrayal. And it's not just where you go, it's how it feels. The jolt of the engine, the turns, the stop-and-go rhythm. To her, with heightened sensitivity, it's like being strapped into a strange machine with no control, no idea where she's going, and no way to escape. She may whine, pace, or even vomit, not from disobedience, but from stress. And each time it happens, the fear deepens. You're not just taking her somewhere. You're taking her trust along for the ride. To rebuild that trust, balance the scale. Make car rides lead to joy, not just appointments. Drive her to a quiet park. Take her on a short ride that ends with a treat and cuddles. Sit with her in the parked car, engine off, just being present. Because the car shouldn't feel like a cage on wheels. It should feel like part of her adventure with you. Still, there's one fear more powerful than vet visits, loud machines, even thunder, and it lives quietly in her heart every day. This is the fear that never makes a sound. It doesn't show up as barking or trembling. It shows up in her eyes, in the way she watches you when you've had a hard day, in how she lowers her head when your tone shifts, in how she tries to make things right, even when she doesn't know what went wrong. Your girl doesn't fear punishment as much as she fears losing your love. More than thunder, more than strangers, more than being alone. What truly scares her is the possibility that she might let you down. Female dogs are biologically wired to bond, to connect, to nurture. Their emotional intelligence is often stronger than we give them credit for. And that bond with you, it's not casual. It's sacred. It's everything. So when you sigh in frustration, when your shoulders slump in sadness, when your voice hardens, not even at her, she feels it. And she blames herself. You come home stressed, distracted, upset, and she brings you her favorite toy. Not because she wants to play, but because she wants to fix it. You raise your voice, and she rolls onto her back, not out of guilt, but in a silent plea. Don't be mad. I'm still your good girl, aren't I? The heartbreaking part is that her desire to please you can become the very thing that drives her anxiety. She'll pace when you're not smiling. She'll follow you from room to room, trying to read your face. She'll suppress her own stress just to keep you happy. But here's the beautiful truth. This fear can be healed. Not with perfection, but with presence. Look at her when you speak. Let your hands be gentle, even when your heart feels heavy. Praise her often, even when you think she already knows. Especially then, because what she fears most isn't being corrected. It's being forgotten, being misunderstood, being less in your eyes. And the good news? Every single one of these fears, from the smallest hesitation to the deepest sorrow, can be softened with the one thing she's been giving you since the day she met you: unconditional love. Now, let's talk about how to give that love back and help her finally feel safe. You've seen her fears now. You've felt them, maybe more deeply than you expected. And if your heart aches a little, that's okay, because that ache is the beginning of change. The beautiful truth is, none of these fears are permanent. They're not flaws. They're not failures. They're wounds she carries because she trusts too deeply, loves too completely, and gives herself to you without holding back. And the best part? They can be healed with time, with patience, and with the same kind of love she offers you every single day. Start small. Start simple. 5 minutes every morning, just for her. No phone, no TV, no distraction. Look into her eyes. Speak softly. Tell her she's safe, that she's loved, that she's done nothing wrong. She won't understand your words, but she will understand your tone. Because emotionally, she listens with her whole heart. Give her places in your home that stay the same, safe zones where she can retreat when the world feels too loud. Let her keep the old blanket, the familiar toy, the corner by the door that smells like you. These are more than comforts. They're proof that her world is stable, predictable, and safe. If you must correct her, do it with calm. Never punish fear. Reward bravery, even if it's just a step toward the door, a glance at the vacuum, or sitting still during a storm. Those little moments of courage deserve big praise. Consistency is everything. Not perfection, just consistency. Predictable routines, gentle touches, and loving words spoken often. That's what rewires fear. That's what brings peace to a nervous heart, because she's been giving you her whole world since the day she arrived. Now, it's your turn to give her a world that feels gentle, safe, and full of love. Not someday. Today. And if this message touched you, if her story feels like your story, Don't go anywhere, because what comes next may surprise you. You've made it to the end, but really, this is only the beginning. Because now you see her differently. You see the quiet ways she's been speaking to you all along. And more than that, you understand the kind of love she's been offering. One that never asks for perfection, only for presence. And if this video opened something in you, if it made you pause, reflect, maybe even shed a tear, that's good. That's growth. That's healing. For both of you. But we're not done yet. In next week's video, I'm going to show you one surprising thing, something most dog owners never think about, that can instantly help calm an anxious dog. No medication, no fancy gadgets, just a simple science-backed tool that works gently and naturally. Especially for emotionally sensitive dogs like yours. You don't want to miss it. So if you haven't already, subscribe and click the bell so you'll know the moment it's released. In the meantime, do this for me. No, do it for her. Give her an extra hug tonight. Sit beside her without saying a word. Let her lean into you. Because she's been waiting for that moment all day. And if one of these fears reminded you of your girl, leave a comment. Tell me what she's afraid of, and what you're going to do differently now. Let's learn from each other. Let's grow together. Because you're not just her owner. You are her world. So let's make that world the most loving, secure, and beautiful place it can be. Until next time, be gentle, stay present, and love her the way she already loves you, completely.